Greetings. Welcome to A Crohn's Disease Life. It's Monday, November 8th. I'm your host, Michael A. Weiss. The topic for today's show is the resurgence of the family doctor, the family physician, the internist, the primary care doctor, whatever phrase fits, but that's what the show's about. For those who haven't seen this before, my name is Michael Weiss, as I said, and I suffer from Crohn's disease. It's a chronic, incurable autoimmune illness. I'm 47. I've had it for about 25 years. I've been hospitalized at least 150 times in many states and under different healthcare reimbursement systems. I've had many surgeries. So I've come across a lot of good, bad, great, fantastic, horrible doctors, nurses, hospitals. So I'm trying to share my insights and experiences with others. People who are either in the hospital, out of the hospital, or chronically ill, and try to sort of figure out how to live, love, and laugh with chronic illness. So I actually wrote a book about my experiences. It's a very funny but real account of my experiences called Confessions of a Professional Hospital Patient. I've been told by patients, by caregivers, and friends and family that it's very good, very helpful, very funny, and it's very respectful towards doctors and hospitals. It's certainly not a hatchet job because I really appreciate what medical professionals do. So that's my credibility, and you could purchase the book at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or on my site, which is hospitalpatient.com. So back to the topic, the resurgence of the family doctor. Everyone is, what am I supposed to do? I'm coming out of medical school and primary care doctors make nothing. The way the system is now, people who can give tests like cardiologists and pulmonologists, all these specialists make money, but the people with such passion to want to interact with people and help them, they really can't afford to go into it. So what do? Well, yesterday I had the luxury of spending some time off, and I was with some friends watching football. And one of my friend's cousins is a fourth-year medical student, and we were discussing this because he wants to be an internist. But he's got a problem because the business realities of it, he doesn't know if being an internist or a family physician can he have a life and do that? He wants to get married, I'm sure, have children, send them to college. How does he do that? Well, I personally think, while everything looks terrible now and healthcare reform is up in the air, I think this is the perfect time for a doctor to specialize in family medicine or to become an internist. Here's why. Who's their competition? Right now it's the emergency room, because a lot of people without insurance go to the ER for primary care issues. It's not the right thing to do, but who am I to say? I luckily have insurance, so I don't have to do that. But other people do, and I don't want to look down upon them because when you're sick and you have no money, you have to do what you have to do. I understand it. It's just, I think, a problem with our system. I think nurse practitioners are competition because they are very well respected and they're probably going to be less expensive than doctors. And then you have the 2,700 pages of healthcare reform that President Obama passed that no one knows what it means. And now with the recent elections, everything is going to change. So everything is up in the air. But this is the way I see it. I'm a business person. I happen to be chronically ill, but I'm a business person. And just like in the entertainment business, there are business affairs people. I think doctors, particularly internists, they need business affairs people to run their practices, because what's in front of them right now is, I think, the greatest opportunity to get back into the days of when, that doctor would come and visit you when you were home from school, and they'd come into your house with the black bag and check your glands. That was a long time ago, and people thought those days were long gone. I think they can come back. Now, that visit is going to be virtual through the web and social media. But here's how I think it can happen. Doctors have to understand, and it's hard for doctors. They're scientists. They work very hard. They're very passionate. They almost need to stay objective. So for them to become business people and entrepreneurs, it's very difficult. That's why I said there should be business affairs people. But the businesses that are succeeding today in what is like a new economy, they focus on personalization and niche. What do I mean by that? Personalization. Let's use iTunes and Amazon. When you purchase something on iTunes.com or on Amazon.com, you're usually prompted with a message saying, hey, Someone else purchased what you just bought. They also bought these 4 items. We think you'd like them. And I would say 80% of the time, I know for me, I end up purchasing one of those items because somehow there's a program that tracks your habits and they're able to personalize the experience for you. That's what technology has done. Now, what's niche? The best example I can give is advertising. It used to be when you wanted to launch a product or a service and you had a lot of money, you would say, hey, I could take an ad out in the Super Bowl, sort of like the shotgun approach. But many people who don't need your product or service would get the ad and you'd pay a lot of money for it. However, now, because of social media, the web, etc., technology, you can hit niche pockets, people who need, want, or are interested in your product or service. So, for example, if you had a health product that somehow fit within this podcast that maybe would be attractive to chronically ill people, let's take the supplement Ensure. Everyone who watches this podcast would be interested in that. Do they need to take out a Super Bowl ad? Probably not. They would be their money would be better spent giving it to me or someone like myself, because my audience is chronically ill people or medical professionals. So with that in mind, personalization and niche, what's more personal than your medical care? Nothing. Nothing is more personal. And I think that right now we pay health insurance companies a monthly fee for everything. That, I think, is going to have to change. What's going to have to happen, we're going to have to still pay for catastrophic coverage, but for primary care, I think there's a huge market out there for chronically ill people would be interested. I think infants and such, the adults, the parents, and elderly people, they would be interested in interacting with their family physician or internist or primary care physician much more frequently. And what do I mean by that? Well, right now when you see your primary care doctor, it's like a 7 to 12 minute consultation, which is mandated by different insurance companies. And while you're talking and telling the doctor and he or she is examining you and you're talking about your symptoms, they're looking for like performance objectives or checklist items that they must look for. The problem is chronically ill people like myself and the elderly and parents of infants, God forbid infants with difficulties and medical problems, they want more than that. They want a personalized experience. They want an interaction. So how do we do that? I think that these doctors who want to be family care physicians can find that market through niche marketing. They could find those 3 groups of people I just mentioned and offer them an experience, sort of like a concierge doctor, but they can't be a pig about it. You can't charge too much. But for that monthly fee, which is a part of what used to be the full monthly fee to health insurance companies, I'm just saying a portion of it should go to your internist. They become sort of the organizer of your life in terms of all your tests, what you need to have done, what you had done, what your medications are, and they check up on you. Maybe they have virtual conferences with you on the internet. Maybe a nurse practitioner calls and checks up on you. And I think those type of people, we want that. We will pay for that. And it's a tremendous business opportunity. It's exactly what I'm talking about in terms of taking advantage of the need for personalization and niche marketing, meaning finding those people who want personalization. Family care physicians can find those people. And I think therein lies a business model. Now, it may be a business model that could be a stepping stone for a much larger business model, because I don't have the answers for what to do when you need a cardiologist or surgery or some other doctor, but perhaps practices can be formed of similarly minded physicians who have the same sort of approach as this type of family care physician, and maybe these business affairs people who run the practices will figure it out. But this is a start. So what primary care physicians look at as a really bad time, this is the greatest opportunity they've ever had to get back in the game. They deserve to be up there with the most well-respected physicians there are, because that doctor who came to visit me when I was a kid, I will never forget him. And I'm sure you have never forgotten about the doctor who visited you. These people interacted with you. There's a need for it. And I think these family physicians and this person I met who's a fourth-year medical student, look at it that way, because there's a need for what you want to do, and your passion will be so appreciated and you'll be able to reach that niche market. So listen, I'm not a doctor, and I'm sure you could poke holes in everything I said. I'm just trying to share my insights as someone who's a patient, and I've seen a lot, I listen a lot, and I hope this made sense to a lot of people, and maybe it's at least it's thought-provoking. One other thing is, I think that these docs should hire nurse practitioners, because you'll take away some competition, and I think it's a very cost-effective way of beefing up your medical practice. Wasn't sure if I mentioned that. Anyways, you could always contact me at hospitalpatient.com. You could send me an email at michaelweiss@hospitalpatient.com, and on Twitter, my name is hospitalpatient. So thank you very much for your time in watching this. I look forward to speaking with you again, and hope everyone feels well. Thank you.